Hi, everybody. It's Gregg Metcalf Partners on Three Things to Know. And we are going to talk this week about three things to know about what's happening in the workplace and in office real estate and how it's actually impacting to help us understand what's going on in the residential market. But first, on the show, we have Gregg Metcalf, JLL, Executive Vice President, who specializes in representing companies who lease office space around the country, sometimes around the world. Gregg, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
In case you didn't notice and didn't already know, we do have the same last name. That's not exactly a coincidence.
We're not siblings.
He's my husband. But Gregg, thanks for coming on. So three things to know. Gregg, do you want to break it down for us? Give us the three things, then we'll go through one by one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And keep in mind, look, it's COVID. All three of these things were already happening, but at a snail's pace, and COVID just accelerated them. First, it's really the hybrid workplace. Second is really the shift of corporate America and in many ways to the sunbelt cities in America. And lastly is corporate America's desire to recruit a much more diverse workforce. So it's just those three.
So three. So number one, let's do that again. Number one, hybrid workplace, so that everybody understands, because you're seeing the different examples and the impact of it. What do you mean by hybrid workplace?
Well, it is a good point. There are multiple examples, and probably the two most upfront or obvious is the call it the daily. So it's work in the office 2 days a week and work from home 3, or vice versa. And then the other is really the more the hourly hybrid view, which is, well, traffic's bad at between 7 and 9, so I won't go to the office till 11, and I'll work from home until then. It's both. It's just the flexibility in the workplace is what it boils down to.
So to your point, we're seeing the residential market is doing a few things. People are buying further and further out, and people from further and further out, like New York City, San Francisco, Chicago, DC, are coming in because they're typically getting paid pretty well in those cities and then able to have a better cost of living and a better lifestyle. Well, that's subjective. But anyway, here. So number two, anything to add to that before we move on to number two?
No, it's either market to market or it's a shift within the market. And it's really those forms of flexibility that have that impact.
Well, in the meantime, the people are moving around, but so are the companies. There's a shift of corporate America to sunbelt cities. Number one, give us an example of a sunbelt city, just to be sure we're clear, and why sunbelt cities?
So sunbelt cities pretty much everywhere at the top, right? So it's Atlanta, it's Dallas, it's Phoenix, it's Charlotte, it's Orlando, Raleigh. List
where
goes
it's
on.
warm.
It's where it's warm, basically.
And why sunbelt cities?
Where it's warm in two ways. It's warm as in warm in temperature, but also as in southern warm, as in hospitality. And I say that in a sense that it's welcoming to business. So much better tax environment, much more friendly business environment. And all of that along with what is now an equivalent quality workforce from and relative to some of the historical bigger cities, a la Chicago or New York or LA or San Fran.
Well, notice the common denominator there. The people are coming from there, and so are the companies, which is interesting and explains a lot about why there's such a drive in our market in Atlanta like we've never seen before. But number three, corporate America's even stronger drive to recruit a more diverse workforce.
We got it going on in Atlanta, period, is the best thing and the best thing I can say and the way to say it. We're a hugely diverse city already, but the driver is companies used to just try to recruit from schools to their location. And now businesses are kind of going where the talent's at. And Atlanta is where the diverse talent's at. And the reason is we have the highest concentration and the best, in my opinion, historically Black colleges and universities, otherwise known as HBCUs. And as a result of that, look, it's been a hot last year. Even in the middle of COVID, we had Microsoft take down 500,000 feet, which is easily 3,000 jobs. We had Google take down just just under that amount, not to mention land that Microsoft bought for additional growth. I'm working this year with a company I can't disclose at the moment, but same reason. They're wanting to have a strong and big presence in Atlanta because of that quality, diverse workforce that's here.
And something I think is important to note on all of these factors is everything we're talking about in the office spaces. These are all very high paying jobs,
Oh, yes.
which means driving prices up, driving the higher market, and so it's just the growth it just reinforces what's happening with our days on market, average sales price, and so on.
All three of these things in relation to the office world are really just driving up cost in residential and I guess reducing inventory as well.
So 3 things to know. Number 1, hybrid workplace has been accelerated. Number 2, we've got a shift in business to the sunbelt, which has also been accelerated by COVID and all the recent everything going on. And number 3, corporate America's drive to recruit a diverse workforce. Gregg, thank you.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
So listen, yeah, thanks for coming on. So everybody, listen to any of our interviews or subscribe to keep up with what's going on in the market in Atlanta. 3 things to know.jmpartners.io. Thanks, Gregg.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the JM Partners Atlanta Market Eavesdrop. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and share with your friends who might be moving or who just want to keep up with the latest on the Atlanta residential market. You can find us anytime online at jmpartners.io. That's jmpartners.io.